Bibi, welcome to Irie. Good afternoon, Bibi.
Greetings. Thanks for having me.
Now, of course, welcome officially. You don't know Road to Success. Today we journey with you. You have absolutely a rich story, and today, thank you so much for sharing with Irie FM's listeners and your fans right across the world. So, thank you so much.
Hey man, I really appreciate it, and I just want to give a big shout out to all the IFM listeners all over the world, because I used to be one myself in England, you know what I mean? And all of the people them who represent IFM from start to finish, you know, the ones who are present and the ones who are past, and give thanks again for having me.
Yeah, definitely. No, Bibi, when you hear this song, right? When you hear this song, what comes to mind? What do you reflect on when you hear this song? But think about World Cup. Think about young Bibi runouts. Jeez, Jamaican reggae boys. But what comes to mind when you hear it?
I know before something even come to mind, a little feeling just run through my body.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then the memories just start flow.
Yeah.
Of all the great things that we have achieved over
Definitely.
the years. You know what I mean? So whenever I hear that song, it brings back great memories and it brings chills through my body. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That song was the song during our campaign.
Mm-hmm. No, the fitting way to start right now, Bibi, as you share that with us, is what was it? You grew up in Harborview. What was it like growing up in Harborview as a child for Bibi?
For me, growing up in Harborview, it was precious. Harborview was like a community that, like a family community growing up in Harborview. Yeah, you can move from house to house to house, and everyone will embrace you with love and acceptance. You know what I mean? So it was a precious memory, and Harborview remember the home a bit today. You know what I mean? They have a great part in who Ricardo Gardner is today. Yeah, growing up in Harborview, as a little youth, most times it was just football, because we have a lot of talented youngsters who grew up in my time and even before my time. And the only thing we will do is just play football. And I'm not saying it was all smooth sailing, but that's the only thing we know. That's the only thing we love, and that's the only thing that bring everybody together and make we have fun throughout the community. You know what I mean? So competition and all those things for the younger ones like myself during those time at the age of 8 growing up. You have the under 12 competition that we'll always play. And you have under 16, and it go all the way up to the elders of the community, which is the Masters League. So you used to have competition within the community that make the community flow and make it is what it is.
But you know, like sometimes even as a kid, and I grew up with like, you know, male cousins and thing, and normally when them playing with the footballer as morning light, I just football you pre, and you have your mother say, look here, baby, Ricardo go put on the football and rake up the yard. Did you have anything like that, or your mom or your parents from the get go, them just know say you're passionate about football, or how did you even become interested in football?
No, man, it was not smooth sailing. It was not smooth sailing at all. And as I say it, so the same, because you know how Jamaican parents are. You know what I mean? Them always a pressure about book and the book, which is good because those things teach us a lot. We have to learn how to represent ourselves. But sometimes because we don't see it on a regular, we can surpass that at times. You know what I mean? Like how I use football and reach where I was during those times. Yeah, man, I have pressure from mommy, man. When you have play ball, she has say, go take up your book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And put on the ball. But we just gravitate to the ball, and football was with love. And even though we never see people before us getting the opportunity on a regular basis, nothing changed our love and joy from the game itself and the football itself. We would play in the streets. We would go to the shop when mommy sent me to the shop, and we just a kickbox and go around a shop till we reach around a shop. You know what I mean? But growing up, yeah, man, we go through it where mommy tell us that. Yeah, put on the ball and go pick up your book, not knowing that football will be my way out in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But even for you though, Bibi, because your story is so unique and so different. Because at 14 you were already like a football star. So playing in basically playing for Woolmers, and also by the time you're 14 as well, you are also a part of the Jamaica National Premier League. So at that point, did you eventually get the support from your parents then? Because at 14, them realize that this is not no normal kicking the ball around or kicking in a box, like you have mad talent. Did they come around
Well,
eventually, or still a struggle?
To be honest with you, I grew up with mommy,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and but we have to give daddy him respect also. I mean, so rest in peace. Didn't grow up with daddy, but as you grow and understand and know life, we know that all human beings are, and know things can go into aspects. So we embrace daddy just the same and know say, without him we wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? So first and foremost, I would like to talk about that. But with the football is concerned, at the age of 14, it was still the community push and the community love. You know what I mean? That's where everyone at the feeding come from. But with mommy have to be out there trying to make that money for us to send us go to school. You know what I mean? And respect that. But at that time, mommy didn't embrace it as much. Same way, it was still there was still the fight. You know what I mean? So there was still the fight of you need to pick up your book and you need to pay attention to your schoolwork and this and that because it's very important. Not knowing, as I mentioned before, that football will be my way out. You know what I mean? Because not everybody are going to become a lawyer. Not everybody will become a doctor. You know what I mean? And not everybody are going to become a footballer either. You know what I mean? So we ourselves didn't even know that part was going to be for us as well. But it's a love for the game, and the community keep on giving me that support. You know what I mean? Them kind of make me who me be. You know what I mean? They always bigging me up, and growing up as a youngster, I would say I was privileged enough to be one of the only young ones who will be able to play with the older boys because of
your skills.
How I can play the game.
At 14 now and playing for Woolmers and even having the community around you, and you have a space in Jamaica's National Premier League. Take us on that journey. Like, what was that like for you as a teenager? Because, teenager, 14-year-old, you play for your school, you're still big baller because you get the ratings and respect from the community. Tell us about that, Ricardo Gardner. How did you handle that, and what was that vibe like for you?
I want to tell you a little bit about that Ricardo Gardner before even Woolmers. Because before I go Woolmers, before me go Woolmers, no one in Woolmers, except people who know me personally, knew that I could play football.
Wow.
No one in Woolmers knew that I could play football because I went to Woolmers for tracks.
Oh.
Yeah, I passed for Excelsior High, and I went to Woolmers for tracks. I got transferred for tracks because at the primary level, when I represented Harbourview Primary, Mr. Stephen Francis, the coach for MVP, who was the coach for Woolmers back then, spotted me and liked what he saw from the primary champs. And he came to my house in Harbourview and he come to mommy and say he's interested and he want to go to Woolmers and things. And when I come home from school today, because we go to school today, come home, first day at school, come home and mommy say, she will accept a transfer for me to go to Woolmers. And I tell her, say, my ball.
I
like. Ball.
Yeah.
Because all of my friends, them Excelsior.
Yeah.
Excelsior and Camperdown me choose for. That school me pick and want. But let me tell you this, I regret no day in Woolmers.
Yeah.
I walk inside Woolmers. It played a massive part in who I am today. So I went into Woolmers for track and field, went to Miami Classic, Gibbs already, all those things. And I can tell you, I go to training. Let me tell you this: track and field is one of the hardest training ever. Track and field training.
So you were like what,
So,
100-meter runner? You go,
yeah, 100
okay,
and 200
mad.
meter, and really that was my
Mm-hmm.
that was my
Area expertise, mad.
era. Yeah. So I was a sprinter.
Mm-hmm. So
So I
you
went
said
to
the
Woolmar's
training hard. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I went to Woolmar's for running and till they see me on the football field and I start playing football in PE and then I start
Mm-hmm. Bibi? All right, so it looks like we've lost him quickly there. So big up to Courtney Mack in the building. So we're definitely gonna get back Ricardo, Bibi Gardner. If you're just joining us, it is all about the road to success, and today we're journeying with the great and talented international football star Ricardo Bibi Gardner. And you heard his story. I mean, this is absolutely interesting. Who would have thought? I mean, initially he was going to Excelsior, like he said, and he got a transfer to Woolmers because of track and field. Who would have thought? I didn't even realize that Bibi was like into 100-meter, 200-meter races and relay. And as you heard him just say, like training for track and field, it was hard. So much more questions we have for Ricardo Bibi Gardner as we go on the road to success with him. Bibi, you're with us?
yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, man. All right. So you were in the process of telling us now about training for tracks at Woolmers, and you said that training for tracks it's hard. It's not as easy.
Yeah, man, it's not that easy, and they will see me like for 1 week, yeah, and they will see me for 5 days for 1 week, and they will see me for 4 days and 3 days, then it will turn out to 2 days, and them just see me upon the football field, and everybody was saying, you need to be focusing on track and field, and Mr. Francis said, leave him, let him choose his sport, because the football is my love, but no one knew that at Woolmers before I went there, yeah. So there and then it starts. I represented Woolmers at the Pepsi level. Yeah, we won that year. The Manning Cup coach came to recruit me for the Manning Cup, but unfortunately I didn't get to play Manning Cup that year. Reason being, we had a finals for Harborview. I break my left arm in training for Harborview. Yeah. So, but I still used to go to like Manning Cup training, same way with the cast on. So, those time now, the reason why I didn't get to represent Woolmers that year, and that's, I think, 1993 in the Manning Cup, where we went to the finals with Excelsior and lost 1-0. I didn't get to represent Woolmers that year because the coach came and he said, anyone, you had a few of us who play for Woolmers who represented Harborview at the time. And the coach came and he said, anyone who go and play the finals won't be a part of my Manning Cup team.
Whoa.
But this was like a dream to be playing in a finals, representing your community, you know what I mean? So me and the rest of the players them decide, say, yo, this is a very sticky situation. But this is a finals. This is a finals and this is just training. So we decided we're going to play the finals. Me now, because I have a cast on my left arm, then I couldn't play the game until I cut that cast off down. So I ended up cutting my cast, soaking my cast. I can't forget that day.
On your own?
My cast, yeah, soaking my cast, cut it down the middle, bring it down to my wrist. And soak it with water and wrap it up with sponge so it could be soft. So the referee won't know that there was a cast underneath. So,
no, at 14 you do all of this, baby?
At 14 you do all of this.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So we get to play the finals. We win minor league that year. We beat Max Field in the finals. That finals will always be in the back of my mind. I think it's one of the hottest games I've ever played in. We won 4-3, and it was goal after goal after goal. So that year I didn't play Manning Cup, and then for that reason, and then I went back the following year and we and played Manning Cup, and we won the following year when I went back. So that was a great accomplishment at that time as well at Woolmans. And then I went with Burtis Bell, who is somebody that I idolized as well growing up. That time I had his ear trim right off my head like 3 or 4 but I went on to after that I went on to the under 20 with Burtis Bell. We went as far as I think the quarterfinals to qualify for the World Cup under 20. Unfortunately we didn't see it. So then Simone's come to Jamaica now. And then I guess it starts.
No, at 18 years old, right? You played in the 1998 World Cup, a historic moment for Jamaica, and your mom actually went with you. Well, before your mom, because your mom also went with you to England, right? So at that point,
Yes,
she was fully convinced at that point. Say, "Yo, my son a baller." She fully convinced at that point.
From the time I started playing for the Reggae Boys, then she realized. But even before then, when I had to make a decision, and we'll come to that later down in the show. You know what I mean? Here and then, I think when I went to England, she recognized now and she knew. She knew. But I want to make the people that know, say, it never just come like that. You know what I mean? It never just happened like that. But at that point, she still wasn't convinced when I joined up with the Reggae Boys. She didn't convince until I signed a contract in England. If I was choosing the right path.
So baby, how did you deal with that as a teen? Because we know how our Jamaican moms are, especially when they're not convinced about a path, a particular direction that you're going into, because them just don't see that for you at the moment. How did you deal with that as a teen to know that yeah, mommy, now feel this, but you still have to follow your passion? How did you create that balance while being respectful to your mom but still chasing your dream?
To tell you the truth, more time, more I than go training. You know what I mean? More time, more I than go training and things, but knowing that I won't cross that part with mama where that is concerned until I think I'm grown now and can make a certain decision and know, say, I'm going to use this decision to make sure that it works, not only for me but for my family. You know what I mean? It wasn't easy. It wasn't a simple choice. I can remember before I got to World Cup, the entire Jamaica become my parents. The entire Jamaica, because at one point Simons came to me and he said, and he went public with it also, and he said, you have to make a decision now. You have to choose between school and you have to choose between football. Because I guess at that time he knew that things was going to get hectic and we'll be traveling to Brazil and we'll be traveling to Argentina and all over the world, and I will be missing school. So at that point he came to me and he said, you have to make a decision. Either football or school. And I remember the entire Jamaica plus mommy, I say, into going to school. But you know how we are. That's our culture. You know what I mean? The entire Jamaica decides, say, hey, into going to school. And that's the way you should choose. And one of my brother, the one that I grew up with, who I admire, because he was the one who was there for me when I was growing up. He looked at me and he said, bro, whatever decision you choose, I will support you.
Wow.
And that changed everything. That changed everything for me. And I chose football. Yeah, I decided I'm not going to go back to school because I had one more year in school, and I said I'm going to choose football. And at that time, I didn't have anyone telling me that at the age I am now, I can go back to school and learn all that I wanted. You know what I mean? So that's what I chose. And when I made the decision, I make a promise to myself that it's the choice that I made at the time. I'm not gonna let down my mother or anybody who say me should have go to school. I'm gonna make it work for me. I make them say there's a way I can work too.
Yeah. And you see what you're saying to us, baby, like that is, as individuals, we all come up at some point where you have to make a choice. And you were able to, once you made your choice, you understood clearly as a youngster, as a teenager, what you had to do. Like you had to show your mom and your family and people in general that you made the right decision to chase your dreams and follow your passion. No. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. I had to do that. I had to do that because at the end of the day, I have a family, and I don't want to let mommy down. You know what I mean? We don't want to let mommy down no matter what. Because we see mommy work hard over the years just to make us survive and just to make we can have food on the table and just to make sure say, we can have uniform to go to school because I know every day we go to school with lunch money, so I'm not talking about a party.
So how was your interaction now with the rest of the team, the reggae boys, like you being the baby of the bunch? It seemed to me that you had like a lot of daddies, a lot of father figures there. How was that interaction and how did they communicate with you?
Yeah, man, them communicate great, man. It's one of it's a memory that will always they are the forefront of my events. You know what I mean? We were like a family, yeah, and they embrace me and they guide me through the tough times. They stick with me through the good times, straight through. We were like one big family. Even though I was the youngest of the group, they tried to guide me and they tried to put in the right path, put me on the right path. And I think Simons came and he played a massive part in that also, because when Simons came to Jamaica, he gave us belief. First and foremost, what I think Simons did is change our mentality, our whole approach in the way that we think, in the way that we carry ourselves, in the way that we look at others, in the way that we think. You know what I mean? And that was very massive, yeah. And I think that was one of the main reasons why we qualify for the World Cup, because everybody come together as one. And Simons was the one who convinced us all that football can be a living for us. You know what I mean? He was the one that who came and changed that mentality and changed the way that we think and know that, yes, this can be the way through. You know what I mean? So he played a massive part where that is concerned, him and all the players. I remember going to school, Pepper used to drop me down to training, drop me down to school, pick me up back and take me back to camp.
Wow.
And go back to training. So everybody just make sure that they take care and guide the younger ones in a way that won't hurt them going forward. We're like a family, man. One big family.
And you see,
if you hurt one, it's like you hurt everybody. You know what I mean?
And you see, baby, that is so beautiful, because that right there is something that they can't really teach in school. And you learning all of that at such a young age, it kind of put a lot of things into perspective as it relates to how you are today, because you have all the ingredients to be hype, but you choose to be humble. And that is fantastic. That we're going to get to that. But now, take us on the journey to where you were signed by the Bolton Wanderers. Relive that period for us, and how did that negotiation happen?
Well, it started before we went to the World Cup. Just because of how I was playing. When I get my opportunity to represent the team, yeah, the first time I get my opportunity, it was a game that Messam got injured in, and I replaced him in that game, and after that it was history, because I was waiting so patiently, because I don't want the listeners to think it was just like that. Messam got injured and I get my opportunity and I just run with it. There was a lot of disappointments before that. You know what I mean? But guess what? I didn't walk around with a frown on my face. You know what I mean? I know that the coach is the coach and we trust the coach. And whenever time the coach is ready for me, what I'm going to do is just make sure that I am ready. I am ready. Because I can remember months upon months when we were playing qualification games here. Yeah? When we would be like 30 of us in the household, yeah? But on a Friday, we play on a Sunday, so on a Friday, what we will do is cut the squad down to a number of 22. Yeah? 22. So most of those times I can remember the manager calling me over from the camp into his residence and say, "Bibi, you're not here." I'm going to say, "No, I'm not here. You know another one here, you know." So normally, the ones who are cut on a Friday would leave the camp and don't return until after the game. So the ones who remain will be the ones who are preparing for the game. I faced many of those moments. I faced moments where Messam was injured and people was put in place before me. So I faced many of those moments, but guess what? It didn't change my focus. It didn't change my mindset. I didn't walk around with a frown on my face because guess what? All of us are one and we are rooting for each other. So whichever one the coach choose at the time, we'll be cheering for and we'll be supporting to the fullest. So now the moment come and me get my chance now, I grab it with both hands. Yeah? And then we went to the World Cup. And before we went to the World Cup, I had an agent from England who came down who was representing some of our English-based players from before. His name is Philip Graham. Came down and he said, "I just need to perform well in the World Cup and then he will try and see what he can do for me going forward." So I went and I had a brilliant World Cup. With the help of my teammates. And the coaching staff, and that's where Bolton really spot my talent and decide that they will be interested in giving me a contract.
Wow. 2 minutes to cash pot, Bibi. So we're going to ask you to hold the line. Do not hang up. We'll continue this story. It is the road to success. And today we journey with Ricardo, Bibi Gardner. A rich story, powerful story, inspiring, uplifting indeed. But listen up, top draw dollars, pick 2, pick 3, hot pick, and cash pot mid-morning draws up next.
When me use Island Fresh with aloe vera, it make me skin feel so much smoother. So if you want to feel better and smell fresher, use Island Fresh with aloe vera.
Manufactured by Island Products, 934-0666.
The time is...
It's now a minute to 1 o'clock. We are standing by for the top draw dollars, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, hot pick, and cash pot mid-morning draws coming up next. I want to pick up the peeps on the WhatsApp line. They are sharing their views. Persons are saying, look, Kishima, Bibi's story is absolutely powerful energy. I am really loving and appreciating this vibe. We'll continue after cash pot. Stick and stay.
Welcome to the official live drawing of the Supreme Ventures Lottery Games. This could be your lucky day. Get your tickets out and let the games begin.
Good afternoon. It is Thursday, September 10, 2020. I'm Carrie Ann and welcome to this afternoon's Supreme Ventures live lunchtime game draw. Now, before we begin, here's a quick look at our mid-morning winning numbers. Now, all live draws are being supervised by the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission and observed by the independent auditing firm PwC. And now, let's put some money in your top draw. Now, this afternoon's top draw jackpot has climbed to $600,000. So, here are your winning top draw numbers. Here we go. And for Money Pon Top Draw Money, the first top draw number this afternoon is 10. Now coming right behind the number 10, we have the number 4. And of course, the third top draw number, what is it going to be? We're counting down to the number 3. The fourth top draw number, here it comes, it is 12. And our final top draw number for $600,000 is 5. And now let's pick your play with our dollars game. So I hope you're feeling lucky. Here we go. And this afternoon's winning lunchtime dollars numbers are coming right down. Now first in line we have a 9. Next in line it is 32. Now right after 32 comes the number 18. What is next? Let's see. Here it comes. It is number 10. Now the next dollars number this afternoon is 26. What's after 26? It is 23. And we are halfway there. The next dollars number this afternoon is 34, which is followed by 24. And right after 24 comes the number 2. What's next? It is the number 7. And the next dollars number, here it comes, it's 4. And we wrap things up this afternoon in our lunchtime dollars game with the number 31. And now for some easy winnings with our Pick 2 game. Here we go. And the first Pick 2 number is coming your way. It is 12. And the second Pick 2 number is 23. Once again, the winning Pick 2 numbers are 12 and 23. Up next, you can play 3 ways, straight, mix, and of course, just back it up. And our first Pick 3 number this afternoon is 1. Now the second Pick 3 number is 6. And our third and final Pick 3 number this afternoon is another 6. Once again, the winning Pick 3 numbers are 1, 6, and 6. It is now time to tot up your winnings, so get ready for a Pick 4 game. And of course, you know it, the balls are bubbling up. First up, we have a 4. Now the second Pick 4 number is 1. And the third Pick 4 number this afternoon is 5. And our final Pick 4 number, here it comes. It is lucky number 6. Once again, the winning Pick 4 numbers are 4, 1, 5, and 6. Now it's easy for win, so let's spice things up with Hot Pick. And this afternoon's winning lunchtime Hot Pick number is 7. Congratulations to all our Hot Pick winners again. The winning number is 7. Let's get ready to play our Cashpot game for Thursday, September 10, 2020. Now, you live to play it, but can you win it? Are you ready to be a big Cashpot winner? And this afternoon's winning Cashpot number is 8. Congratulations to all our Cashpot winners again. The winning number is 8. Did you win it? Thank you for playing this afternoon's Cashpot game. And now let's try to mega your Cashpot money. Let's go. And what is it going to be this afternoon? Let's see. Here it comes. It is a white ball that was selected. Again, the winning Cashpot number is 8. Lucky Mark Belly. And a white ball was selected. And now let's take a look at this afternoon's winning lunchtime numbers. And of course, congratulations to everyone who won. Now it is a season for winning, so get ready to mega your winnings with Money Time. And please be sure to come back at 3 p.m. with Taiba for more games you love to play. I'm Carrie Ann. Have a supreme afternoon.
Hope you were a big winner. Play your favorite Supreme Ventures games every day and tune in for our live draw 6 times a day at 8:30 a.m., 10:30 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m., 5 p.m., and 8:25 p.m. on this station. Supreme Ventures, making winners every day.
That was the lunchtime top draw dollars, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, hot pick, and cash pot draws. Congratulations to all of today's winners. Join us again at 3 p.m. for another chance to win in hot pick and cash pot special pot draws. So, congratulations again. Now, if you're just joining us, it is all about the road to success, and today we journey with the great and talented international football star Ricardo Bibi Gardner. Bibi, you're there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, awesome. So we were just hearing the story about the Bolton Wanderers and how that negotiation happened. And talk to us now. Is Bolton Wanderers still your club, or are you rocking with like Manchester City or Chelsea? What a pre right now? Who you rocking with right now?
Well, man, Bolton will forever be my club, man. Bolton will
Always.
forever be my club, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Chelsea supporter, and of course I have to rock for Man City because of Raheem Sterling.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but I just try to watch the game on a broader scale. You know what I mean? Without getting my heart into it, just try and learn as much from the game as possible. You know what I mean? So I'm just not watching where the ball is, but the whole entire field itself.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a Chelsea supporter, and I will be always supporting Bolton. Bolton is where my heart is, because it's home away from home, and it has taught me a lot about life and where I am today.
Mm-hmm. Share with us some of the lessons that you learned being an international football star, playing with Bolton. Some of the experiences, or maybe you have like a situation where just stand out, where that experience will never leave you.
Well, to be honest with you, it's just the values of life that being a professional footballer has taught me. The values of life itself, and how it teaches you to be loving and caring, and I think that is very important.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I've met some great people in true football, who will always be a part of me and where I go from here. So that is very important. To meet great people, you get to learn the world itself and how people operate, people from within different countries, different cities, and all walk of the earth. You know what I mean? And what they try to do in common is show love and embrace each other, because we have a lot of different language within our dressing room, but at the end of the day, it's one for all and all for one.
Mm-hmm.
So it has teach me a lot of great values.
Mm-hmm. And it's great that you mentioned that, Bibi, because sometimes on the outside looking in and seeing like a football star, you're seeing all the glitz and the glam and just the attitude, man a star, so they're moving that way. When I look at Ricardo, Bibi Gardner, you have all the ingredients to be hyped, to be show off, but at the end of the day, you remain so humble and grounded despite the international successes and your achievements. What helps you, Ricardo, Bibi Gardner, to remain grounded?
Well, I would say it's a part. It's a part that I walk. Yeah, and start from within my household, or mommy brought us up. You know what I mean? And I try to spend my time with elders as well. As my friends that I grow with, who are around my age group, or even younger ones. But I try to grasp a lot from my experience and life itself, and people's experience, and just being around a lot of elders. There are two elders that I'm very close with and who I always reason with at times. One is Tito from the Harborview community, and one is my cousin and daddy side, called Era Richardson. And those people are some of the people who have taught me a lot and who have received a lot from. You know what I mean? And as I mentioned before, it starts from within the household. That's the way Mommy brought us how to be respectful and how to be thankful and how to have that humility, because it can take us a very far away.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, I'm not better than the man that's sweeping the road. You know what I mean? And the man who's living that lavish of life is not better than the one who are washing our clothes at times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Baby, you're special. You're special, yeah, man. And that's why you just arise and people genuinely love and respect you. Now, from Premier League to retirement, right? Relive for us that moment you decide to hang up your football boots.
Well, it was a plague of injuries, to be honest with you. And before I leave Jamaica, funny enough, you know what I mean, before I leave Jamaica, I never think that I could have no injury. Other from the accident we are brave man, and that was from messing around in training. So where the football is concerned now.
It's just injuries force you to do that.
Yeah, injury forced me to know that it is time. It is time. I've done a lot of knee surgeries.
Yeah.
I'm not anymore. So when play with my kids, the moment I realized it was time in order to more Jamaicans than myself. And that was one of my goals and my dreams. So through football, I really get to accomplish a lot of my goals and my dreams, even though I would love to go on and on and on. And that's how the mind is.
And it's interesting that you said that because from my research, I found that even while you were in England and while you were signed with Bolton, like a lot of other Jamaican footballers who would sign major contracts that would see them go to England, like you were almost like a father figure, like you played a role in nurturing them and showing them the ropes. Why did you do that during that time?
I mean, the moment I get my contract and I sign with Bolton, two things I promise myself that I will do. Is one, to buy my mommy a house, which I accomplished, and two is to go and show England and the rest of the world that there are talented people here in Jamaica. And because it's not about me. If others are not benefiting, then it's not natural for me, and that's just me. That's just my mentality. So that was two promises I made to myself. I'm going to show people that there's a lot of talented people in Jamaica. So I have to make sure, say, yeah, my attitude have to be spot on. Yeah, I have to be disciplined. I have to be on time. Yeah, all of them things I have to get intact, because if I go and slip off on any one of those things that I've mentioned, then if a coach interested in another Jamaican, then that coach will call my coach and he asks about me. And then he won't have all the good things that he needs to say to that coach in order to receive that Jamaican. You know what I mean? So what I would love to encourage the Jamaican football.
You've qualified you for citizenship.
Sorry, I'm a citizen of Jamaica, but I'm a citizen of England. So I do have my English book. But I wanted my younger kids to get that Jamaican roots and to get that foundation here. So that was my main reason of moving back to Jamaica, for them to get that roots and that foundation here in Jamaica. And so they can have that balance and know where daddy and mommy is from.
No, you're both.
So that was my main reason of moving back.
And we're glad you come back. We're happy to have you. Definitely. No, you're both a player and a coach, right? No. Do you find, what are some of the challenges? Share with us, because we know, like, as a player, you have to be keen on your fitness, you have to train hard, and sometimes we see some football coach and they're not necessarily in the best of health. You see some coach with like a belly and them thing there, and do you find it easier being a coach, or what is your style as a coach?
I mean, what I try to do is try to bring to them what I have lived. Yeah, as a coach, what I try to do is to bring to them what I lived. But the challenge I face is that we have a lot of talented players here, no doubt. Whichever field Jamaica want to choose or look into, we have talented people all around. Yeah, but the challenge I face is the whole mindset. The whole mindset, the way that we think and the way that we operate. And it's natural. It is our culture. It is our culture. You know what I mean? But in order for us to be as professional as we want to be, to reach at the highest level in terms of a professional footballer, I'm going to talk from my experience. Yeah, we have to change our mindset and we have to change our mentality, because we are not only challenging with the rest of footballers in Jamaica in order to get a contract overseas. We are challenging some people who are already coming through the system in those areas. Yes, we are challenging against Brazilians, Argentinians, Africans, Europeans from other countries. You know what I mean? So in order for us to reach those levels, we cannot operate like how we used to be operating. We have to rise our levels 2 times, 3 times. So we have to change our mindset, the way that we think, the way that we approach certain things in order for us to reach our highest potential.
No.
In terms of how we operate in football.
Yeah, definitely, and I totally agree with you. Take us on the field with you, Bibi. You have your team out there. You're the coach, and you're trying to get that mental and tactical readiness, which is important. What do you say to them to get them motivated, to get them to that point? I know it's not going to happen in just one go, but what is that conversation like? Because it's not just with football, but it's we people in general and how our approach to life. But we're on the field with Bibi. You talk to your squad. What do you say to them to get that mental and tactical readiness?
Well, it's just that repetition of work. Repetition of work that you have to put into action. You know what I mean? And continuously speaking and having that conversation with them on and off the field for them to adapt. Because, for example, if you play for 5 different coaches, it's going to be 5 different information. So you have to be able to process each information and go out there and carry it out. So what I try to do is get each of my players. It's 11 different positions. Yeah? I try to get each of them to try and master each of their positions. In and out of position of the football. And that's what I try to get. Try to maintain the right principle and change your life. Yeah, man. So it's just the mindset on each player understanding their role and their function within the team, with and without the football.
And nothing is so beautiful than seeing intelligent football. You know, when you watch a match, and for me, that is what get me excited. You know, like just
it's the greatest joy.
to just see them with it. No, I couldn't have you on, Bibi, and not try to squeeze in this question. Jamaica's chances in the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. What do you think?
I think we have some very good players. We have some great players now. This is maybe one of the best crop we have in a very long while. What I think we need to do is get behind the coach, get behind the players, and support them from start to finish. And it's not only support of the supporters, but they need also financial support in order for them to be going into camps where they can try to bring out whatever the coach want whatever the coach want them to bring out there on the field. So we need to support them financially, and we need to support them physically. Yeah, that's going to be a massive part in us qualifying for the World Cup, because that was a massive part in us qualifying back in 1998. Yeah, so we need the entire Jamaica, and as I mentioned, it's not just physically. So whether or not if the JFF have to put in place things in order for them to get financial support, I'm saying to the JFF that they need to go and get those support in order for they can repeat history.
Mad.
They get the support.
Now, Bibi, one of the things with you is that you are and produce the likes of Sizzler, Buju Banton, Beanie Man, Vibes Cartel, Elephant Man, Idonia, Ioctane, and so many others. How did this passion for music begin for Bibi?
For me, knowing myself, I always love music, and for me also, I think music and sports are family. Yeah, because if you watch not only in football but in basketball or in track and field or in cricket, before a player go out there on the field or out there on the track, they always have the headphone, vibing to music and so forth. And it's family, because if you check most musicians, some of them used to play football back then, some of them used to play basketball. You know what I mean? So I think it's something that was embedded in me.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the love from it from ever since, because up in my community we used to have parties where I would go up on stage and I would DJ me and some of my brethren and stuff like that. So I always had that love for music, and growing up, I always trying to spot talent and try to pull through talent so they can pull through others also. So it's each one helping one, you know what I mean? So so that's how Art of Love was created now, where I come within the community and see who we can come together as one to make this happen, so others could embrace it and come through as well.
And as you mentioned how Heart of Love was formed, selecting a name is so important, and it is just attracting good vibration to what you're doing. Give us the story behind even how you came up with the name. I know you kind of touched on it a bit by saying that looking at the community, you wanted to provide an avenue, an outlet almost for other persons.
Yeah, man. The saying and the phrase is something that we had out there, and because I'm always embracing people, and I'm always telling people to come together and show love. So when I think and manifest everything, I'm saying to myself now that the art of love can only be the art of love.
Mad.
You know what I mean? So that's how we came up with the name, and it was always a saying and a phrase that I gravitate to from ever since.
Listening to the reasoning from you started, you seem to be very meticulous and dedicated to what you're doing, which is no surprise that you actually scored success doing music from the rhythm. I don't know, is it called Set Me Free or Love Them?
Set Me Free.
Set Me Free.
Set Me Free. It's called Set Me Free. It was a project with Big Ship, with Freddie McGregor and myself. Yeah, must big up Genius for that. Even.
Yeah,
but it was just pure love and just the energy. You know, but music take a lot from you. Yeah, but it's something that it releases a lot from you as well. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It take a lot from you and it releases a lot from you as well. So music. They say the players and the singers are instruments. You know what I mean? It will always be around.
You know, Bibi, you are so selfless in your giving, and it's almost like you give so much that your everyday life and things that you do is just service to others. How important is this for you? I know you kind of alluded to it when you even mentioned in the story about England and you wanting to make sure that you set yourself in a position where you create a platform for other Jamaicans. But how important is service for Bibi?
For me, it is very important, man, because even before me, I give thanks for even the players before me who was not achieve anything out of the game, but they have played some part in me reaching where I am today. Because if it wasn't for that work that they have came and put in before us, maybe there wouldn't even be a national team. You know what I mean? For me to get that opportunity. So for me, service is very important, and not just service to receive, but service for others to receive from. It is very important, and it has played a part in my life. Maybe other people didn't benefit from it, but I benefited from it, and I make sure that others benefited from it as well. So it's very important for me.
Mm-hmm. Bibi, what would you say to someone right now listening to us, listening to this reasoning, listening to our conversation on the road to success and following your journey? They are sleeping on their dream and sleeping on their passion. What advice would you give to that individual?
I'll tell them to just never give up, and continue to have that belief and develop that character that you need in order for you to fight every fight until you reach to where you want to reach to. Because it's never going to be an easy road. And it no matter which one of your idols you want to choose, from the youngest come right up, check their journey. It was never easy. So just believe and when people don't see your word, the Almighty will see them. Remember me to it.
You do.
I have to be truth.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
One of within a certain region, and more working hard, and then it will happen.
And final question, Bibi, in closing. For parents out there who are listening and they are not vigilant enough or observant enough as it relates to finding out from an early stage what their child or children's passions are, what advice would you give to parents, especially if your child is interested in a particular sport or football to be specific?
Well, I would just tell them to just take a step back, man, and look into their journey. Look into their journey. For me, I think what we need here is just support our kids. Support our kids. Whatever they are. That's what they need. You know, we already live our life. Yeah? Mm-hmm. I already live past 13 and 14. I already live past 21. I can't go back to 21. I can't go back to 13. And I can't go back to the age of 10. So just encourage and support. Just encourage and support the kids on their part. This is their part. Just encourage and support them on their part. And that's all they need sometimes. You know. I was having a conversation earlier and I'm saying, I think sometimes I might choose the wrong path, but in terms of coaching the older ones. But I'm saying to myself also, I'm saving one or two who take on to what I'm saying, because I was having a conversation with a friend and I'm saying to him, I think I should be with the younger age, because imagine a youngster at the age of 14 knowing what I know now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Imagine a youngster at the age of 10 knowing what I know now. Because maybe people who's coaching those youngsters or who are coaching those youngsters haven't had the experience that I have in order to share these things with them that they need to know at that age, that they will keep with them, because the younger you are, the more you will soak it up like a sponge.
Mm-hmm.
But the older you are, you're already developing your bad habits. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit harder the older you are. Mm-hmm. But I think if you have that mindset where you listen and you try to learn as much as possible, as old as you are, you can learn as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. All is not lost, though. I still think it is something to consider, and you are changing lives, and you could and will be changing more lives. Ricardo, Bibi Gardner, thank you so much for sharing your story and taking us on your journey.
A pleasure. One love.
All right, thank you so much. That was Ricardo Wayne Gardner, more popular.